What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to give you guys a quick morning market update as Bitcoin has gotten a bit of a move down over the past day or so. Now, this is something we were looking for on my channel. We were looking at some of the medium hourly time frames, giving us some bearish signals. Some of these signals we were pointing out in one of these market updates, and these have finally given us a little bit of a move down, but now we are starting to show some more bearish signs on even higher time frames that could warrant a further correction. So I want to go over those bearish signals with you guys, as well as take a look at some of the key levels underneath us that we have to be watching for some potential bounces. And then I also, guys, really quickly want to cover XRP, as XRP has gotten a little bit of a move up overnight, and it is showing a very, very, very bullish signal. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of these urgent market updates or any awesome tutorials that we upload to the channel. So, guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart. Now, first, I do just want to go over some of the things that were pointing to this move to the downside that we're currently getting right now. This move down has not been the biggest surprise in the world, as we have been up here testing some seriously monumental resistance. Now, obviously, this is a strong level, guys. This was acting as support almost throughout the entire bull market. Every time we got to pull back to this level, it did come and save the day for us and give us big bounces to the upside. And then we obviously held onto it right here before finally breaking down deeper into this bear market. Nonetheless, guys, this is a serious level of resistance. So we were expecting a move off of this, whether it was going to be a big collapse of Bitcoin or if it was just going to be a small pullback. I was expecting some form of a reaction off this level either way. Now, not only were we testing this very key level of resistance, guys, but we also had a very bearish signal popping up on Market Cipher B, and that was our daily bearish divergence with our higher highs on price action with our lower highs on momentum waves. Now, as price was testing this key level of resistance, guys, this added a lot of confluence to this signal because we were testing that key level, right? So you're coming into your key level of resistance, you got your bearish divergence, which we know typically winds up playing out and giving you a move to the downside. And on top of that, guys, you also had your money flow coming out on Market Cipher B into the red, right? And as of right now, guys, this money flow does still look very bearish, in my opinion. Now, I do just want to, before we continue, say that I am bullish long term. I still do think at this time that this move up could continue. However, with daily money flow looking this bad, as well as this next bearish signal I'm going to show you guys, I do think we could potentially get a further correction down before continuing up to make some higher highs. So I still am long-term bullish, but we were obviously looking at these bearish signals over the past week or so, so we were expecting this move down, and I just don't know if it's over yet. Now, also on top of that bear div, with that money flow coming out, guys, we were also looking at the medium hourly time frames, mostly between the 2, 3, and 4 hour, having our money flow coming to the downside. So you can see our money flow is clearly coming to the downside here. And to add insult to injury here, guys, the money flow on the 4 hour has crossed into the red. So this would definitely be more of a bearish sign rather than a bullish sign. So this was also something that was giving us the expectation to get this little pullback that we've already gotten. So this was the early warning signs of this move to the downside. Now, it's obviously not the biggest move down, but this was, if this winds up being a bigger move, this was some of the warning signs that were sitting on the chart the whole time. Our 3 hour also coming down into the red. Now, we are printing a green dot on that 3 hour with our money flow starting to come back up, but we'll have to let that play out to see if it's going to give us anything worthwhile. And then our 2 hour has obviously crossed into the red as well. And then we are kind of starting to curve back up here, but we may just be making a little lower low before coming down to make another lower low. But these were some of the early warning signs that daily bear div with money flow coming out, as well as the money flow on these medium time frames coming out. This was what is expecting us to get this move down that we've already gotten. Now, to add a little bit more insult to injury here, we do have another very bearish sign, and that is on the 2-day, guys. We have now confirmed a bearish divergence on the 2-day. Now, this is, again, not like some rare bearish signal. We are obviously in a strong uptrend, so you want to be careful, betting the farm on these divergences, even on the higher time frames when you're in such a strong uptrend. uptrend. However, you also cannot ignore it. You have to keep an eye on these, because if we do wind up getting a move down, I say this all the time on my live stream, it's not going to be until you look back and you see a big collapse of price where you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. There was a 2-day bear div. Why did I not see that? Or I know I saw the bear div, but why didn't I trust it, right? So again, you don't have to bet the farm on this. I wouldn't recommend, I have been recommending being a little bit more greedy with the longs at this point in the market, because we are in such a strong uptrend. So a little more greedy with the longs, a little more conservative with the shorts. So keep that in mind. But this could be signaling a further bit of downside for Bitcoin, again, before getting a potential another leg up to higher prices, eventually getting up to our next target between about 29 and 31K, which I do think we can eventually get there. I just don't know if we're ready to get there right now. So that is the main bearish signal that is popping up on Bitcoin. Just another thing to keep a lookout here for, guys. And that 3-day also on top of all these divergences with the money flow crossovers on the medium time frames. You want to understand that the 3-day is following closely behind that 2-day, looking to start printing a bearish divergence here as well. But again, money flow is still looking healthy here. We have a high here, higher high here, higher high here. The money flow is trending in the right direction. And you guys want to remember that the money flow indicates the longer term trend, and the VWAP, or the red and green dots, typically indicate more of just the ebbs and flows of the market, right? So I see the VWAP coming down. I see the bear div printing, but as long as this money flow keeps marching its way up, I am expecting the uptrend to continue. And then obviously, guys, we do have that money flow getting ever so close to that zero line on the weekly, which will be a very bullish signal once it happens. But again, that weekly VWAP is starting to cool off. Just another thing kind of pointing to some potential more downside. Now, let's come over to our actual chart with our levels, because I do just want to show you guys some key levels to keep an eye on if we do wind up getting a move down here. And some of those key levels, one of the most important key levels that I will be watching here, guys, really the major level is going to be this blue box between about $25,310 and about $25,000 even. Now, this is the value area high of our range here, our more macro range. So it wouldn't be out of the question to potentially, if we do get that move to the downside, to get a strong bounce off that level. So I will be looking for bullish confirmations at this level. You can see we have a beautiful shelf of volume here. So it is the value area high. We do have a very high volume node here. And not only is that the value area high of our more macro range over here, but it would also be revisiting the highs that we made at 25K. I mean, essentially the highs of this range as well. But this would be a very key level to come down and test, as if you really zoom out, really look at the macro here, you could see our range, our macro, our full macro range here is kind of just trading between these prices here. So, you could kind of look at this whole area of price action as a range, and it wouldn't be unlikely for price to come tap those highs before coming up another leg here, right? And then you are obviously supported by that big shelf of volume that we just looked at. So that is going to be the biggest level I am watching to the downside if we wind up getting this correction to continue. We also, guys, yesterday have printed some pretty bearish signs on Market Cipher A. We now have a confirmed blood diamond on the 16-hour, a confirmed blood diamond on the 10-hour as well. There you go. And then these are pretty bearish signs. Now, I would put a little less weight on the blood diamonds than I would on the divergences, because sometimes this blood diamond may be played out here. But again, the point of this is to show you the key levels I'm watching. So that blue box right here, between about $25,300 and $25,000 even, is the first major key level. And if we break below that level, guys, not only am I looking at this because there's a good chance we can get a strong bounce off of it, but I'm also watching this because if we do not bounce off of it and we get sucked back into this area of value, meaning this value area, this volume profile range here, if we get sucked below that value area high, we will get accepted back into this range most likely, and we will very, very likely get a move down to our point of control, coming in at about $23,000, where we also have the confluence of our local golden pocket retracement, right? So going to be another big level I'm watching. However, once we get to this level, guys, we are likely going to already be accepted back into this area of balance. If we do not get mega bullish signals at this level, I may sit out of the trades, expecting this level to break, to have price potentially come down and revisit our value area low, coming in at 20,800. However, just remember, guys, that is only if we break below this level and close higher time frame candles below it and cannot get back above. That's where you're expecting to get accepted back into this range. Visit your POC and then eventually down to your value area low. So, guys, those are the key levels that I am looking at in case this move down does continue. And again, with that 2-day bear div and that daily money flow and VWAP still looking pretty bearish, it's not impossible to get a bigger move down here. However, if you come down to the lower time frames, guys, there are some things to keep an eye on here. Now, obviously, we are out of our local range here. We have broken below it, bearishly retested. We just bearishly retested it again. However, something to realize here is we have put in a bullish divergence on the 1-hour time frame. Now, this may get invalidated pretty quickly here as that VWAP is coming down. But just something to realize here is we are putting in that bullish divergence on the 1 hour with our higher lows on our momentum waves and our lower lows on price, which typically warrants a correction to the upside. And in that case, guys, the level here, which is the value area low coming in at 27,166, would be the level we need to get above and hold in order to open up the door to some higher prices. That could open up the door to potentially getting a ride up to our point of control of this range, coming in at about $28,000. But until we break that value area low and hold it as support, that is kind of the make or break thing here, right? If we don't get above this level and hold it as support, we may wind up losing this value area and getting a move down, in which case the next local level I will be watching is this little spike in volume right here, which does start to pick up at about $26,265. So, guys, again, not impossible to get a move back into the range here. However, with the money flow continuing to come out on the 1 hour as well as the 2 hour and the 3 hour and the 4 hour money flow crossover into the red, I don't know how much confidence I would have in that. But the other thing to realize here is we are starting to get some green dots. But again, the money flow indicates the longer term trend. So you want to put a little bit more weight on the money flow rather than the green and red dots. But again, not impossible to get a little bit of a move up off that bullish divergence into our local range, in which case I would just continue to treat this as a sideways range. And if that does happen, the 2-day bear div, guys, will still be in play. So if we get back into this range, it's not like I'm just going to completely flip bullish and say, hey, screw the 2-day bull div. I'm just going to go, 100x long here. We would have to break some more key levels to the upside and really get out of this local range, which would be cracking. You would have to crack your value area high coming in at about $28,374. Just wanted to point that out, guys. But again, money flow is just continually stair-stepping out, so I don't know how much confidence I would have in that. But it is popping up on the chart. So it is an option of something that can wind up playing out. Now, guys, that is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin, but let's actually go take a look at the real star of the show here, and that is XRP. Now, I know it wasn't that crazy of a move here, but XRP has really been showing a lot of strength as we have been getting this big move up here. Now, there are some really, really interesting things happening here, right? So we did wind up actually breaking out of our local range here, or our range that we've basically been down here throughout most of the bear market. We have finally cracked that value area high and made a run for our next value area, which is actually back here where we were ranging around up at these higher prices for a little bit here. You could see you have your value area low right here, your value area high, you have your value area low right here about 45 cents, your POC coming in at 46, almost 47 cents, and then your value area high is up here at 49 cents, and this is the level that we are testing right now, guys. Now, we were looking at this on my live stream last night, and I was letting everybody know, hey, is XRP potentially on the way to the 60-cent range? And we are actually seeing exactly what I wanted to see here, and that is a ride into this previous value area, this blue box. And, what I'm looking at here is, again, just this previous range that we created up here. That's what this blue box is representing. So really what we wanted to see here was XRP moving into our previous range. We got that big move up to 50 cents. Everyone was going crazy. We ate all the gains back up, came back down, to test, come down to test these levels here, and then we got to bounce back into the range. But this is exactly what I wanted to see, and really what I want to continue to see here, guys, for more upside for XRP is going to be the hold of this range, right? Now, if we can hold this range, guys, and even if we get a rejection from the value area high and we just kind of respect these levels as a range, this is what I would like to see to potentially get XRP to get above this level, flip it to support, and get a bigger move to the upside. Because as you guys know, once you leave a value area, or once an asset leaves a value area, it oftentimes likes to hunt out another previous area of balance, which again would be this blue box from this range that we had all the way back here. And then if we can get above that value area high and hold it as support, I would look for a big move up, because as you guys can see here, we are essentially knocking on the door to this big fall off in volume. You can see we got a very fast move down here for XRP. We are likely, if we can crack into this level decisively or crack into this gap, that is where we could eventually see a very quick move up for XRP up into this next golden pocket, hitting that 60-cent level. And then some of those other higher prices, which are a little further away, get into the between 67 and 77 cents, which we're obviously very far away from. But something to keep an eye on here, guys, is that we are tapping on the door to this potential low volume gap, and that if we get above here, that could wind up being a quick move up to that 60-cent level, which is our next golden pocket. So that is going to be the next level I am looking at for XRP. And to show you that super bullish signal on XRP, guys, this is actually a big shock to me, to be 100% honest, because you guys can see we did get a weekly blood diamond here about a month ago, which is a very bearish sign. However, we are now on regular candles getting a money flow crossover into the green on the weekly time frame for XRP. This is a very bullish signal, guys. These crossovers do not happen often, and every time they happen, we wind up getting a big move up for XRP. This money flow crossover into the green in 2017 eventually wound up bringing us up an insane amount, about 11,000%, and then this last one in 2020 wound up bringing us up not quite 11,000%, but still wound up giving us an 885% move. So these are rare, but when they do happen, it does wind up being a very big move. This is only the third money flow crossover. We did have some fake outs here, so you want to be aware of that. You could be getting faked out. However, if this is a sustainable crossover into the green, that would be an extremely bullish sign for XRP. So, guys, I think that's all the time I got for today's market update. I just wanted to give you guys those key levels to the downside and also let you know that we do have some bearish signals popping up on the chart for Bitcoin. And then I wanted to show you some of those higher levels for XRP, as we are getting that weekly money flow crossover into the green, which could wind up being very bullish. So, guys, I think that's all the time I got for this market update. I'll see you in the next one. Shout out to the XRP army. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide.